The Queen's Talk, where we honor and celebrate women on their self-love journey, where we share our stories about how we overcame past trauma and where we are now. Welcome to the Queen's Talk, Queens. Hello, everybody. I am Leslie from Brown Girls Embrace. And on the Queen's Talk, we talk to other women in the self-love community about how we overcame past trauma, how we built our self-confidence and our self-esteem, and how it has benefited us and how we want to help others. Tonight's guest is somebody who is really similar to me. We're both hairstylists and we love helping women and empowering other women. And this just being there for another woman is something inspiring that both of us are doing. So I'm really excited about this conversation tonight. But before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on all platforms at Brown Girls Embrace, and let me bring our guest into the room. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
That's good. Thank you for joining me tonight. How was your day?
My day was it was busy, but it was good. A good busy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get started with our conversation. Introduce yourself. Tell us your name and where you're from.
All right. So my name is Kendra Ward. I am originally from Philadelphia, lived in Miami for almost 12 years now. I currently reside in New Bern, North Carolina.
Nice. Now, we know you are a teen mom, author, life coach. Tell us why you started it. Why you started coaching?
First of all, I started life coaching because I've been doing it pretty much my entire adult life,
Right.
teenage life, young adult life. And I didn't have a title to it. So I didn't know what I was doing until I started hearing the terminology coaching online, when Facebook started, having their lives, and I started on Periscope. And I started saying, that's who I am. That's what I want to be. So I started taking trainings and I hired coaches. And this is how I ended up in the life coaching space. So it's a joy. I totally love what I do. I know that I was called to this mission because it is a mission. Everybody is not built to be an effective coach because it's a lot of work. But I know I'm called to this mission and I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Yeah. And I wanted to bring out that when you're a hairstylist, we naturally like helping people anyway. And
Yes.
like I said, when we were talking earlier today, you said that every hairstylist our hair appointments become therapy sessions.
Yes.
Because of the interactions we're touching. The human touch is powerful, first of all. And then you get to know your clients over the years. You get to know their families.
Yeah.
And we just build a bond and relationship. And you see the mindset of a woman and everything like that. So
Yeah.
I just think that it's very powerful that, you're a hairstylist and now you transition into the world of coaching. So can you start with the teen mom coaching? Because I know you went into the teen mom coaching, and then we'll go down the line and everything else.
Sure. Hold on. I'm just telling them to shut my door so I don't get any noise. Or excuse me, repeat that one more time. I wanted to take care of that.
Oh, no problem. So we talked about you being a hairstylist and a team coach and a life coach. We're gonna go down the story of you've been a teen mom first, because I know you did teen mom coaching. So let's start there with that journey.
Oh man. And it's like when we spoke earlier, you just brought back so many memories that I can actually use in my content. But I was a teen mom. So I was pregnant at 15. I had my older son at 16. He'll be 31 and actually the 31st of this month. And it was a journey. I wouldn't say it was a bad journey. It was a good journey. I was a great mom. And I noticed during those times, young girls starting to come to me. And I'm like, because I'm tall, I'm 5'10", almost 5'11". So I'm like, is it my height? Is it my aura? But they would come to me and want me to help them and want me to coach them. And I didn't use the word coach back then, but they were asking me, how can they get out of their situation? So I just turned into this person of resource where people would come to get help and learning how to use their natural God-given gifts and start businesses. So I'm like, okay, we're on to something. But from there, and I've always had the gift of hair, but from there, I started working in salons. And then I ultimately owned my own salon at the age of 25. And that's when everything really, really kicked in. But prior to that, I had a teen mom group of 25 teen moms. My youngest was 13. Yeah, from 13 to 21. I even had some moms that had 2 kids on their way to 3 children. And there was a ministry in my church that I was over. And every weekend I would bring them to my house. I mean, it wouldn't be all 25 at one time, but it'll be like maybe 14 one week, 10 one week. And I would bring them to my house and do, rites of passages with them. I would take them on monthly trips to like Atlantic City for the weekend and to hotels. And we would have pizza parties just to show them that there was a different life outside of what they were currently living in, because all they knew were the streets and their surroundings of what they saw. So from there, God was already training me to be a coach, right? And then just having the knowledge and the expertise and the experiences with my clients when they sat in my chair, I knew that it was more than me just styling their hair. Our
Mm-hmm.
conversations at the shampoo bowl, our conversations behind the chair was magnetic. I mean, I've had women sit in my chair with black eyes, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
I trust me. God trusted me with a lot of stuff. I've had women sit in my chair getting divorces. I've had women sit in my chair getting married, losing children, losing parents, all kind of stuff. And you know what we go through, as hairstylists. So the focus wasn't even on the style anymore. Like some of my clients would get up, wouldn't even look in the mirror because they were so full from our conversation. They already trusted me. So they would pay and walk out, or maybe they did a quick little mirror check and walk out the door, because they got what they came for. So that's how the journey actually started. And in 2010, I started feeling this urge, like, I don't want to be behind the chair anymore like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something was shifting in me. I didn't know what it was. And unfortunately, I didn't handle my business correctly. Don't do this at
Mm-hmm.
home, for stylists. But I started feeling like I don't want to do this. So I would like be really negligent on booking my appointments. And you know that feeling when you get tired of doing something. I didn't know how to exit properly. So I would be negligent on booking my appointments, and I still would show up, but I wouldn't show up with the same drive that I had for all of those years. And I said, something is shifting. God is doing something, because at that time, I didn't know to do anything else. All I did was hair. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote books, they weren't published at the time, but I would write books, be a mom, and do hair. That was my life, and be in ministry at
You
church.
were writing books in the mix of you doing hair too?
Yes. I
Oh,
actually,
ooh.
yeah, I wrote my first two published books while, in the midst of lunch break. So when I got off, got out of the shop, right? So I've been
Yeah.
writing books for a long time.
So what made you get into writing books and what
I've
you writing?
always, since I was 3 years old, I would write books. There was three gifts that God gave me that I knew since I was 3 years old. And I know this sounds crazy. A lot of people don't know what their gifts are, but I've always known what my gifts were. It was doing hair, it was writing books, and it was teaching. Those were the three gifts that God blessed me with that were evident since I was three.
Oh, what would you do at 3? That's
I asked the same thing. So at three,
uh-huh.
I would go over my grandmother's house every day. My mom would go to work. She would drop me off at my grandmother's house. So my pop, right? He was, retired, so he would be there. So
Mm-hmm.
my pop had a little bit of hair, and every morning at the same time, they were very routine. He would have a little, he would have his white glass with some white liquor in it. He would have his cigar, okay? He
Mm-hmm.
would have his newspaper, and he would sit in this recliner in the living room, like a rocking chair recliner, with and hum. So liquor, cigar, and one ashtray, newspaper, recliner, me sitting behind him, and he would hum like that. So I would, and he would do that for hours. I would go upstairs and get my grandmom's Blue Magic grease. I don't know if y'all remember all of that back in the
I
day, the
remember.
Blue Magic grease.
Yeah.
And on her dresser, she would have all of her things lined up neatly. So she would have like 4 different types of brushes, 5 different types of combs, from big to small, everything lined up really neatly. So I would grab the big tooth comb, a brush, and a jar of Blue Magic or green, whatever she had. And I would go sit behind him in the chair. And while he was humming, I will I will part his hair. I will put the Blue Magic in, and I would just twist his hair for hours until my grandma called us for breakfast and lunch.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
That was at three.
Wow.
Also, around 3 or 4, I could read and spell really good. So I would cut out pictures and paste pictures on, construction paper and staple it with my mom's staple and write book and create books. Of course, it wasn't like books like I write now, but it
Mm-hmm.
was it was I would take the papers and just staple it, and they were books, and I would give it to her. As I got older and I started learning how to write properly, I would actually write different books on pieces of paper, staple them. So that was the gift that God was showing me, and as well as showing my parents what to hone as I was getting older. The teaching, I would take my doll baby, I would sit her in a chair in the room. I would have applesauce. Always had applesauce, a little bowl and a spoon. And I would
Right.
feed her and I would say, okay, you sit there and you listen. I don't remember everything I said. That was so long ago, but I remember teaching her in the chair. So I'm just a firm believer that God shows your parents or whoever was your caretaker what your gifts are. Sometimes we just don't pay attention.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, so you become a teen mom and now you start doing the coaching, and we're a hairstylist. Like we said, every hairstylist is becomes a therapist because of the connections and the bonds that we have and the talking sessions, and you see what's going on in a woman's mindset. Tell us how you entered into the next phase of coaching, because you was already doing teen mom coaching. What was the next phase of coaching for you?
So the next phase of coaching, so after the teen mom, so that was prior and no, actually that was during I owned my salon. So I purchased my salon in nine. When did I purchase my salon? Lord Jesus, I purchased my salon in 19. No, oh Lord, I purchased my salon in 2001. I'm sorry, I
Mm-hmm.
purchased my salon in 2001, and that was around the time that I was doing my coaching, and I think that's the right time. Long story short. So during the time that I was coaching the teen moms, I started weaning off of that because my older son needed me. He was getting busy in school. My business, my salon was getting super busy. So I kind of weaned off of that and gave that assignment to somebody else in my church. But in 2012, when I decided that 2013, I decided, listen, I have to kind of move on from the salon because I ended up moving to South Florida, kept my property, rented it out. And then I started traveling and speaking. So I hooked up with some mentors and I started traveling to Black colleges and I started speaking. By then, I already had a published book. Okay. And then I was working on my second one. And I wasn't typically a coach then. I was still in training. I was a traveling speaker and author. But like a year or two later, I hired a high end coach. I went through her year program and I became a coach to moms. So I was teaching moms how to balance their life and business, being a single mom at that time, on my way to being married, just teaching them how to balance their life and business. But because I had the entrepreneur in me and the hairstylist in me, the
Mm-hmm.
hairstylist community was calling me. So I'm like, I don't know who to coach. I didn't want to coach both at the same time because I didn't want to mix my messages, because when you have too many demographics that you're working with at the same time, you have to create content and your messages for all. It was just too much.
It
So
can
I
be
said,
confusing.
I had to choose. I said, all right, we'll go with the stylist. So I started coaching stylists how to create proper workflows behind the chair so they don't have to stay in the salon all day. Like I was an expert in getting out on time, still making my money, and being a mom by 6 and 7 o'clock at night. I was never a stylist in the salon 9, 10, 11, 12 at night because I knew how to balance properly. So that's what I would teach stylists, and I would teach them how to create an exit plan so they're not behind the chair for the rest of their life. They can go on and do something else. So I did that for many, many years. And then I just started feeling that pull to shift. So I started teaching stylists how to use their story and become authors.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for quite some time, and I still do that today. But what I added to that is teaching them how to take their story and become authors and certified life coaches. So this is where I am today. So do you see how everything led up from when I was small? Nothing really veered off. I was teaching at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was stapling my construction papers, making books at 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing hair. Nothing shifted off the path. I'm a firm believer that God uses those small things, and as you grow, He starts adding to it and adding to it. And then you end up in this place where you're still doing what you were doing at 3. It's just at an elevated level.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you a little bit of backstory about me. My mom's a hairstylist, so I was always her assistant. Like I was always helping her, and I would tell my teachers like, "Well, I don't have to do this because I'm gonna be a hairstylist, and I don't have to like crazy stuff when you a kid. Like you still gotta read the color bottles or what
Right.
like
Yeah.
you read or whatever." So I was telling my teachers I didn't want to do this because I was gonna be tell us like my mom. And then I wanted to go into the nursing field because I was a diabetic. So I was a CNA for 3 years. That's still helping people. And I wanted to help children because I was a type 1 diabetic at 9. So I
Wow.
wanted to help kids or whatever. So anyway, forget I was a CNA for 3 years. And 2014, I went to cosmetology school in Nevada in DC to become a diverse hairstylist. Because I wanted to be just diverse hairstylists that did, all different textures of hair. Um, then the pandemic hit, and I turned our because we both do hair here at home. I turned our basement into a salon, and then I
Wow.
created up my own products. But I like how the timeline, and then now I'm in this season of like I want to really be a life coach and help people, and I think that's awesome that a lot of hairstylists are now coaches, and I think
Yes.
that's it's, like a lot of people want to help people. Like sometimes people think that hairstylists are arrogant or like, oh,
Yeah, that's
they
horrible.
think they better, or by the way we dress, we wear our hair. We just like to look good, and we want to help
Yeah.
you do the same thing. That's why we're here to help you. So I think that's a beautiful thing that we want to help women,
Mhm.
and that we have this platform now to do it here on social media.
Yeah. I love, yeah, social media is a gift.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we are in the life coaching phase, and it's the pandemic hits. Where are you? Where are you in the beginning of the pandemic phase?
Oh, the pandemic phase. That was rough. I have a young child too. He's 9 now. So at that time, what was he? 6? What was 2020? Yeah. So he was that 3 years ago or two?
The race 2023.
Oof. I mean, we're the beginning of 2023. So that was about, yeah, a little less than three. So the pandemic hits, my business is booming. I had to turn down people. I couldn't take anybody
This
else.
is, this is the life coaching stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said the lights. I wasn't life coaching during the pandemic.
Okay, what was you doing?
I
Doing
was
the
I
job.
was still teaching stylist during the pandemic. I
Oh,
was
you
still,
teach a
yeah,
stylist.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
still teaching the stylist. The life coaching is the title is new, but I've been doing it. So I want
Right.
to say the title of life coaching is new. But during the pandemic, I was really heavy and still teaching the stylists how to create proper workflows and how to become authors and things of that nature. So yeah, so that was during the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we go to during the pandemic. How was life in life coaching?
Okay. So during the pandemic, I had to turn clients down. I had a lot because remember during the pandemic, they shut all the salons down.
Yes.
The stylists were running around like, oh my God, I don't have other streams of income. I don't know what else to do because you have stylists that all they did was hair for
Right.
years, 20 plus years, 15 years, some 30 years. They didn't have other means of income, which is if you're a stylist on here, please, by all means, have several streams of income. So if anything else like that happens or you break a hand or something, you have something to fall back on. So a lot of them didn't have anything to fall back on. So they were frantic. So they saw me online and doing my thing. So they pretty much like was in my inbox like, hey, I need to be a coach. I need to get from behind my chair. What else can I do? I need to write a book. So that's how that happened. And then bam, they shut the schools down. So
Oh
now
wow.
I'm an instant stay at home. I was a stay at home mom, but now I'm an instant teacher.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
instant teacher during that time, marriage going through. So it was a lot of stuff going on. And my brain was just like, right? And just trying to balance all of that, it was a lot. So I had to slow my coaching down some because I had to be attentive, to my youngest, my son. Because I've realized, wait, this is new to me. I'm not used to teaching no kids like that, like all day. Right? So I was put in that pot, and just trying to, fix breakfast, lunch, and dinner for him now, and be there when, even though they had the teachers online with them, I still had to be there to make sure he got everything done. So that was a lot. So that's how my 2020 went. That's how a lot of the 2021 went, because remember, they were still home in 2021.
You were. Hmm.
So that was a lot. But I was still coaching, marriage going through at the time. So just a lot of just emotional stuff. So my business was kind of topsy-turvy during 2020 and 2021 and part of 2022. So that's how that pretty much went. But I mean, I still had my clients. I was still showing up online every day, still doing what I could do. I mean, I had my virtual assistants helping me, but it wasn't at the capacity that I would have liked, you know. And I love to be transparent because I think in this entrepreneur world, we like to say everything is great every day, all day, and that's just so not the truth.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Nita. Yeah, go ahead. I was just speaking to the people in the.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how that went, the pandemic and the coaching went.
Okay. Okay. So let's go back to for me during the pandemic. It as a hairstylist, it did open my eyes. Like, okay, get it together. That's when I started to do like the my brand, Brown Girls Embrace, and I wanted to create this platform where women can gain self confidence because I wanted them
Mhm.
to. I noticed a lot of people in my chair, they had low self esteem and they didn't make time for self care. So I was just like, well, why don't I do something where I'm kind of motivating brown girls to build up their self confidence? And it was something to do during the pandemic. I wasn't gonna take it this serious, and but it happens to be a blessing in disguise because now I have more income besides hair. But anyway,
Mhm.
so I started doing the Brown Girls Embrace, and I was just like, well, I need a product to go with my brand. Then I started making shea butter, and I was like, well, I
Mhm.
kind of want something to go with my being a hairstylist and for my brand. So I have a hair mask, a natural hair mask, shea butter hair mask, and I have a body butter. So this shows you that in the pandemic, it kind of forced you to do more than just hair. Like you say,
Yes.
everybody was reaching out to you, be coaching, and now I want to be a life coach, and it's kind of like you can want to keep building, on what you have. And I think that is cool that hairstylists know, like, okay, maybe I can, you know, get from behind the chair and do something. Because who wants to be old behind the chair?
And it's funny you said that because I totally forgot about that. In 2021, I started a business for my 9-year-old. He was 6 or 7 at the time.
Oh, hmm.
And it was a hair product line for boys. It's called
Oh, wow.
it's called the Gabriel Ian brand. So one day he came to me when he was 6. He was like, "Mommy, I don't like my skin." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" I said, "You're handsome. It's too brown." Then he said, "I don't like my hair." I'm like, "Huh?" He said, it hurts when you comb it. So my entrepreneur brain turned on, and I was like, okay, we're going to create an empowerment line for boys.
Oh,
So we had 9 products. I say had. We had 9 products. We had an oil, a butter. We had a hair mist spray. We had 2 shampoos, a cleanser and a moisturizing shampoo, conditioner. We had a wax. And what else did we have? Oh my God. Oh, we had a hairspray. And I think that was it. And we had body butter. So
nice.
we did vending events. I lived in Miami for 11, 12 years. We did vending events every weekend. We were getting popular. Like we were blowing up. We actually wrote a children's book as well to go along with it with the Gabriel Ian brand. We had t-shirts, affirmation cards. It was a full shindig, okay? And then uh the husband left the home, got separated, and then everything just kind of had to go on a halt, right?
Mhm.
It's still in operation, but what I did was I took away all of the 9 products, and we're only rocking with 2 hair products right now, because every time we would do vending events, I would sell the full package, but I noticed people were more so directed to the moisture. My
Mhm.
oil sold out faster than anything, and I had all these other amazing products out, and even though I was giving them knowledge, but their brain was focused on just the oil, right, for
Mhm.
their boys. I said, okay. So I took away a lot of the brand, the line, and I said, I'm going to keep 2, and then we will build upon that. And so that's how that went. And then we started doing vending events with his books. So the
Oh,
books,
wow.
yeah, the books are now in bookstores.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him to bring one before we get off. But the books are
Yes.
now in bookstores, and especially down here in North Carolina where I am. So Gabriel Ian brand is picking back up, and I'm super excited about that.
Oh,
So yeah, when you said hair product, I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention that.
and my name is Leslie Ann. My real name is Leslie Ann, and that's my name. My products is Embraced by Leslie Ann.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So it's crazy that you said that your son said he didn't like his skin, and you wanted him to embrace his skin, and that's why I created Brown Girls. It was really for girls who couldn't embrace their skin. I was just like, shea butter makes my any. I know I don't say any black person. A lot of African Americans love the way shea butter feels on their skin. So it's funny how you say that your son, a brown boy, didn't like the way his skin was, so you try to embrace it with products. And I think that's amazing for brown girls. I forget that brown boys have issues with their complexion too, and self-esteem issues as well too. So that's very, very empowering that you was able to do that for your son.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, you noticed that, you wanted to start coaching, whatever. How was that experience coaching these girls during the pandemic when they're such in a frantic of how to get money and income and everything like that?
Well, these weren't girls. These were women,
Oh,
actually. These were women in the industry 15 plus years, 20 plus years, and that's all they did. And one thing about that, a lot of hairstylists, they get stuck in, they're changing now, but they were stuck in this motion of, this is how I'm going to live the rest of my life behind the chair. I don't know how to do anything else. So this is what it is. So I was teaching them how to create multiple streams of income with digital products, because I also teach how to create digital products, ebooks, courses, things of that nature. So I was helping them create their ebooks. I was helping them create their courses, creating their coaching programs. And they were doing it. Like they were doing it. So it was a great experience. It really, really was. Yeah, it
that's
was. That was a great time.
that's nice. Now, with all those coachings, the different team mom coaching and the hair coaching, and the life coaching, what would you tell your 15-year-old self today?
Mm. It's so funny you said that, because do you know I put a post that is so crazy. I put a post on my Facebook today
Uh-huh.
of a picture when I was 18 holding my 3-year-old son. And at
Oh,
the end of my caption, I said, "What would you tell your 18-year-old self?" You didn't even know that. And I just posted that today.
I didn't know.
I know that was confirmation. So what I would tell my 15-year-old self, what was I doing at 15? I was pregnant. I was like, so what would I had to think. I'm like, I was pregnant. Okay. So what would I tell my 15-year-old self? Now, is this concerning the coaching or just in
Just
general?
I know that as brown girls, we have problems with our self-esteem and confidence and feeling like, can we achieve this? Or but it seemed like your confidence was pretty solid at because you said at 3 you started.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
did. I started at 3. But of course, going through those teen times,
Yeah.
you lack a little confidence. You're trying to look for love in all the wrong places, all that great stuff, and that's how I ended up Um, but I would tell my 15-year-old self to stay the path, stay the course. But
Mm-hmm.
we know that our brain, scientifically, our brain goes through some things. So even though I can say this as an adult, a 15-year-old is going to understand it differently.
Yeah.
So my stay the course for them is going to be different how they view stay the course, right? Because they still got to go through their stuff, finding life out, getting in high school, peer pressure, all that. Once you get through all of that and get to you about 25, then the light bulb starts to really come on. But I would say stay the course with the gifts that God has blessed you with. Make sure you know who you're surrounding yourself with, where you're surrounding yourself. Don't fall for the sweet nothings. Um, and stay the course. Again, stay on the path that because I knew what I was supposed to do. Stay on the path that with the things that God has given you. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I'm just thinking about the different trials and tribulations and the different mountains I had to climb and valleys I had to get through, but I still stayed on the path, because by the time I was 18, I had my first brand new car off the lot. I had my first apartment. I was making almost $1,000 a week, sometimes more at that time. Back then, that's not a lot now. That's normal now, but that was a lot back then. My
Hey,
friends at that time were still getting allowance. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here in my own place making $1,000 a week
well,
because I
at
was.
that age, you had to grow up. You had a kid. You had to grow up fast.
But I never got kicked out the house or nothing. My mom, like I
Mhm.
could, so I did not live a poverty lifestyle, if that makes sense. I I lived in the hood. I lived in Philly. It wasn't hood, it was like mid hood, but I lived in a nice house. We always had money, food, cars, we traveled. So I didn't live like a poverty lifestyle, but I chose to leave because I wanted to have my own and do my own thing. So I used to do hair in my apartment. And I mean, I would have, you remember them dryers the hooded dryers that you buy, the home, I would
Yeah.
have like 3 of them babies set up on my dining
What?
room
3 of them?
table. I had an air conditioner in the window in my apartment, and I had jet hooked up cable from somebody in the neighborhood. So my clients would come over, sit on my couch. Sometimes I would have like 5 to 6 clients, turn a movie on the cable, and I'll be at my sink shampooing while 3 people under the dryer. Listen,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
we made it happen. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I would tell my 15-year-old self, just to stay the course.
Yeah. Let me read Nita the Diva's comment. It says, learn to know thyself and love yourself deeply first. Don't settle, don't fall for the butterflies, and trust the process. Believe in yourself. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's good.
I would tell my 15-year-old self the same thing. I didn't have confidence. I was
Mm,
very insecure about myself. I was
gotcha.
very insecure about my complexion. I was my lifestyle. Like I was just so full of insecurities. And I would tell myself that it's okay to be yourself, embrace the trauma. That's what makes you different and sets you
Mm,
apart from everybody else. Like, what is normal? Like, I always think that I wasn't normal because I was dark skinned. Like, but what is normal? Like, I'm a beautiful brown woman, and I needed to learn how to embrace that about
yeah,
myself. So that's what I would
yeah,
tell my 15-year-old self: is it's okay to be yourself and just to embrace who you are.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. But lastly, where can everybody find you in the different platforms? I know you do workshops, coaching sessions, all that stuff.
So it's great. I took some time when I moved to the North Carolina. I took some time. I put my head down for a couple of months, didn't look up, and I just restructured my business, got all my systems set up back in the back, and I created my programs. So now I operate in three capacities. Well, I operate with three things. So I have a membership for high
Mhm.
achieving women, and when I say high achieving women, I don't mean you have to be at a certain financial target. um just high achieving, that you are tenacious, you go after stuff, you don't give up. I don't care what comes in your way, I don't care what kind of challenges come your way. You know that you have a calling to reach, you know that you have somewhere to be, and you know that you want to do this entrepreneur thing, you want to do this mommy thing. That's what high achieving to me is. A lot of people look at high achieving as, oh, well, you have to make 6 figures or multiple 6 figures. I don't, that's not my thing. I don't care if you're working at McDonald's. I'll still call you high achieving if I know that you want more. So my membership is for high achieving women who need to heal and who want to heal from relational trauma, and they
Okay.
want to tell their story. Okay,
Mhm.
and become certified life coaches and published authors. So
Mhm.
that's what I specialize in. So I have the membership. You found me. Thank you. I
Mhm.
also have a program. It's a 12-week program called Rise, Reposition, and Rebuild. So it's a certified life coaching program where I teach you how to I certify you, and I teach you how to build your life coaching business and prepare to become a published author. So that's 12 weeks. My membership is a monthly subscription based membership. And then I have a planner workbook that I created called My Story Planner, that teaches you how to take your personal story and structure it. So if you wanted to do a TEDx talk, you wanted to write your book, you wanted to become a coach, you wanted to travel and do classes, you can do all of that by creating your story first and then creating that from your story, right? So the workbook is phenomenal. I'll grab it in a second, but the workbook is phenomenal. So those are the three ways that you can work with me. And I wanted to keep my business model simple this year because I want to make sure that I deliver great results. Sometimes you may have service providers that offer a lot of things and you join, but you still leave a little confused because it's a lot going on. I wanted to simplify the process and make sure that you get everything that you need when you walk away. So that's how you can work with me. You can go to KandraWard.com and you can follow me on all social platforms at Kandra Ward. I don't have any nicknames, so it's Kandra Ward. And follow me on TikTok because I'm trying to grow my TikTok. I gotta get to 1,000 followers so I can start going live. Because I actually just started,
Oh, that's how you do it.
yeah. So you
Okay.
got to get to. I don't know if they changed it now. I think it's only 500 if you make it a business account. But on the personal account, 1,000 followers, and then you can start going live. So I want to start going live on TikTok. So make sure you follow.
Okay. And let's see your son's book. Please show
Game,
us your son.
do me a favor. I'm gonna grab it. Hold on one second.
Okay, no problem. And everybody, you can follow me at Brown Girls Embrace. And look forward to my events coming up. I have some events coming up in um for February for Black History Month. And yeah, subscribe to my channel. I'm at Brown Girls Embrace on Instagram, YouTube. I'm Brown Girls on TikTok. So yeah.
All right, here I come. All right. So this is his book.
Oh, awesome. Oh, they
So,
at the barbershop.
everything got to be related to hair because that was my life, my entire life. So Malcolm's Big Day at the barbershop, and this was the line of the hair products for the boys.
Nice.
So the Gabriel Ian brand. It was a luxury hair brand, and these are the affirmation cards. So this goes
Oh,
along.
affirmation cards. Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah. Is this the right one? Hold on, let me grab them real quick. I'm sorry, I don't mean to mess your live up.
No problem.
All right, so these are the affirmation cards. So we created affirmation cards for boys, moms, and dads.
Oh,
So we
nice.
package them nice when
Oh,
we sell them. These
wow.
are
I
the ones
like
for
it.
the dads. These are the ones for the moms.
Hmm.
And these are the ones for the boys. We have scripture cards and we also have the regular affirmation cards for the boys. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
and this was the book, the My Story Planner. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
it's over 200, well, actually it's over 150 pages just teaching you how to get your story out. It takes you back to healing, it asks you questions, all that good stuff. So yeah, we got some good stuff going on over here.
And the last question is 2023. Why do you think it's so beneficial to incorporate self love and all that into a person's life today in 2023?
Because these social media streets will tear you up if you don't.
Right.
Like that, I'm gonna be blunt. Philly coming out. These social media streets here gonna tear you up if you don't. I mean, the amount of low self-esteem that people deal with on a regular basis, that they dealt with on a regular basis even before social media, it has 10 times itself now that social media is here, because a lot of people on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and they see these images and they see these videos and they think that that's everybody's real life. I'm not saying that that's not everybody's real life, because I'm sure that that's some people's real life. But the majority of people you follow, that's not real life. You don't see them crying at home when they get off. You don't see them in domestic violence relationships. You don't see them not really having esteem in themselves, and they look like they have esteem on the videos because they're using, and this is not everybody, so I want to categorize everybody, but some of them are using their bodies, they're using their beauty. We have some beautiful women out there, body wise, beauty wise, hair, and they're using it to draw the attention, but at the end of the day, how do they really feel once they get off a camera?
Right. They're only doing it for the likes
You know what
and the
I'm
views.
saying?
Yeah.
And even if they're not doing it for the likes, even if they're doing it just to grow their business, because sometimes you have to become, unfortunately, you become somebody that you're really not, just to grow your business, because you got to get you what you want to make some sales and stuff. So some days you don't feel like it, you got to have an alter ego. It's a lot of stuff that goes into this. So you really have to make sure that your self-esteem is on point.
Yeah. And when I was thinking about this the other day, I said if somebody doesn't like my content, then it's not for them, because everything isn't for everybody. And
Yes.
I'm here to help people like me grow.
Yes.
And God bless me with a platform for me to speak and talk and, you know, tell
Yeah.
everybody my story and how I overcame and how I want to make it better. And so if you don't like it, keep strolling. And I have
Yep.
to be confident in myself. I learned that I have to be confident about what I'm doing. I can't let the world or the comments. I mean, I haven't had any, but I'm sure it
Yeah.
could
But
come.
oh,
You
when
know,
you grow, they'll come. When you grow, because of course you get bots and all that stuff. But
yeah. Even when like I was telling somebody last week in my podcast that I didn't even want to tell my family or my friends I was doing this because I was felt like I was gonna get backlash. But I was just like,
mm,
I gotta be confident in what I do, whether the backlash I get or not. But I'm here to empower women. That's why it's called the Queen's Talk. It's called
yeah.
Brown Girls Embrace. It's there to empower brown women. And if you can't relate to that story, keep strolling. That's all I can say.
That's it. That's
Mhm.
it. Like you really have to. I like to tell women, because I do a lot of empowerment speaking. I'm on my biggest platform at this moment is Facebook, and then Instagram. And now, so I'm getting ready to ramp up my Instagram and TikTok. So I'm about to push out 3 to 4 reels a day for the next 90 days.
Oh,
Just to build my viewership up and build my followers up. But when you follow my stuff, I'm inspiring a lot. I talk business sometimes, but 80% of it is inspiration. And I like to tell people all the time, listen, people going to forget about you soon as they click off your page. So you're sitting here not eating, you're sitting here not living your best life because we're worrying about what other people are going to say. There's always going to be somebody prettier than you. There's always going in social eyes. There's always going to be somebody that has a better body, better hair, better home. But it's
better
always going to be
content. Yeah.
better content. It's always going to be. So you can't keep trying to keep up the top that. Be who you are. Be
Yeah.
authentically you, because whoever is for you, they will be for you. Your audience will find you and they will rock with you. Like you said, whoever is not for you, they will drop off. And that's what you want anyway. You
Yeah.
shouldn't feel bad because people are dropping off. That's a good thing because that's less energy and work you got to do to try to please everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love it because we can get caught up like want everybody to like us, but that's not real life. Everybody's not gonna like you.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I can't wait to connect with you more. With the
Yeah.
coaching stuff and the workshops and the self empowerment. Like you have so much author, self life coach, like so much. But keep up the good work. You are inspiring to a lot. But thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
All right. Good night.
Good night.